So have you come across any kind of we'll say flat Earth nonsense in your high school?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have anything you want to share or any
I
kind of
think more of
anecdotes?
it is just the kids making fun of the people who actually believe in it, more than them believing it in themselves. That's what it comes across to me.
So it's kind of like the flat earthers are kind of like the punching bag.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Has there been any kind of like, I don't know, like outburst, like graffiti, like obnoxiousness
I haven't
about
seen
it?
any.
No, nothing like that. I have seen a couple of videos where kids disrupting the class. There was a survey done last year by YouGov that said 1/3 of millennials weren't sure that the Earth was round. Like 1/3, it was 33%. Scientific American kind of looked at that survey, kind of misleading. They said it was more like 20% of millennials aren't sure of the shape of the Earth, but it seems like a lot. And as far as like the entire country is concerned, they said only 2%. But that 2% said they were sure the Earth was flat. Once again, the interesting thing is the millennials were 30% or so weren't sure. What percentage would you say, like, how many people are in your grade?
I
How
would
many
say
students?
it's probably closer to 5%.
Five.
It's not that high.
It's 5%. But how many students are in your grade?
In my grade at my school, there's 800.
And so you say it's like maybe 5%.
Yeah.
Is there any kind of like way you could? I don't know. I don't even want to say stereotype. It seems like the people that are outspoken about it, like in the media and stuff, are like basketball players, TV personalities, comedians. Just like no one you could really take too serious. Is there? Okay, how about this? Is there like, would you say a flat Earth like leader, like guru? No, it's not even that advanced.
No.
It's really a bunch of mocking.
Yeah.
Wow. That's really funny, because it seems also that it's the older generation, maybe the Gen Xers, that are really like pushing it, and it seems like people are just they were following it, and they were just curious. And now, like, because I get like news updates, like for flat Earth, just like blurbs in the news, and it's really nothing now. It's really simmered down. Might get 2 or 3 notifications of a news article that makes a mention, and it just has to be a mention, that's all. But like this time last year, it was like 10 to 12 like per day. So now it's like really nothing. So I'm thinking it kind of like just died off. Not died off, but
Definitely is
trend. Have you noticed? Did you notice a personally like a trend like last year, 2 years ago versus last year versus like this year?
It's definitely lowered.
Lowered, yeah. Because that's what I'm kind of noticing
Less
too.
people talking about it.
Less people, and it's more in the back corner.
Yeah.
Yeah. The flat earthers, or flurfers we like to call them, they would definitely disagree. They did a same poll. YouGov is out of London. It's a London-based poll, and you like sign up and you get points for taking the poll or whatever. So there's some kind of incentive. It's definitely not like a gold standard as far as surveys. If you're familiar with like Pew Research, that's the gold standard. And until they release something that says, 2% of the population thinks this or that, then I'll buy that. But there just seems to be too many discrepancies with the YouGov surveys. But nevertheless, I think it was last week they released a survey, and they said that 3% of UK of Brits are flat earthers, which is, that's 1% more than the U.S., but whatever. It seems, and you're saying it's about 5% in the school, which is really kind of interesting. I'd like to hear what other people have to say about that. But they say 3%. There was a UK news program. They did a little poll, and they said 4% of UK thinks the Earth is flat. They're really big into the conspiracy theories, and the biggest flat Earth was actually the last one on the list that people were into. The largest one would be the moon landing. Mm-hmm. Of course, I believe that they landed on the moon. Their evidence for them faking the moon is a whole lot, I don't even want to say believable, but it's more in the ballpark than freaking flat Earth. So there's about 15% of Brits. So I can kind of say there's 15% of the U.S. population that would also believe the moon landing is fake. And on top of that, there was a survey done in 2011. They said that 25% of Americans did not know that the Earth revolved around the sun. So that's 25%.
That seems really high.
It does, doesn't it?
Yes.
And this has been done in other countries, and it's about the same. Amazing. It is really high. The survey, this was done, like several years ago, so there wasn't really much done. If you say 5% are flat earthers, you don't really know if it's just 5%. Is it just 5% that are vocal about being flat earthers?
5% that I've heard talking about it.
You've heard talking about it.
I don't know if they're serious or if they're screwing around.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
You don't know. So it's not really to a point to where it's even taken seriously. Was there a point where it was taken seriously, do you think?
I'm not sure of one.
I think that middle school area, I think that's really important, because that's really kind of like when you're kind of like lost and you're looking for your identity. I mean, yeah, sure, we like this and this and this and that, like some cars and baseball and dogs and horses and whatever. I think right around junior high, you realize that you need to have an identity. So I think this is just my opinion, I think if people are going to jump on this bandwagon, this flat Earth or
Late middle school, very early high school.
Yeah, exactly. That would be the time that it would be done, because we didn't really learn, at least formally, they didn't really teach us anything about the solar system or the universe, Big Bang, basic physics until I think it was 6th grade. I don't really remember anything before that, because it was kind of like a big deal. It's like, oh, you're actually learning science, at that age. And that seemed like the age where people would go against it. Now, with a magnet school, you guys have special, I don't want to say programs, but I guess it would be special.
Was oriented towards math and science. So we were 2 years advanced in math and doing stuff that we still barely haven't done in high school so far.
Oh, wow. So what are you going to do about that gap? I mean, because you could test out of a lot of the classes.
They are allowing me to skip the classes, but they don't have higher classes. So I'm having to go to CSN to start taking higher classes.
Because you say math and science. What were some of projects that you guys did throughout the year, that were, I don't know, kind of
in middle school?
Yeah, middle school.
So in science, we normally did labs towards physics labs, but they just all evolved around working with the equations, and it was more basic physics because we were still in middle school.
Yeah.
And then in math, we didn't really do as many projects in math, except for we did a lot more with geometry, involving that into projects like measuring stuff without tape measures and stuff like that.
So you had a group project, you and someone else, or something, a major project, or any building
Not
or
really.
anything? No?
For a competition I did. There was a build project we had to do.
What was that?
It was we built a roller coaster for like a marble. They're extremely refined, the rules that we had to follow, and so we had to get it in the smallest area possible and get the most jumps we possibly could.
The smallest, like foot space?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smallest volume.
I was under the impression that it was like a lot more than 5%. On so the teachers, if it's only like 5%, and these people aren't even making any like splashes, making any waves or anything, teachers, have they even addressed it or anything? No, really, because I read a lot of articles about teachers very stressed out about the situation. Maybe it'll change. It would be very interesting, because there's, at least I see videos of like high school kids, and they're like starting like debate teams and stuff, to debate flat Earth, and it's so ridiculous, and it's so funny because they're so passionate about something that's just so. But you haven't really come across that. That's really interesting. We'll have to get back. Well, you know what we'll do it again, like this winter. We'll see what after a semester. But you've already been. There's really no difference between.
There's more in high school.
There's more,
but it went from 0 to like a couple.
So from the magnet school went from 0 to like 2.
Yeah, like it wasn't.
How many people were in your middle school?
There were 1,800.
1,800. So I don't know. That's about it.